Hello, good morning. This is Frankly Tarot. We are organizing ourselves here. We're back with a hashtag, a video response. And this is the Dating the Tarot hashtag, hashtag Dating the Tarot. Let me pull up my notes. This was begun by Candy, Soul, and Soil. She, probably a month or so, I'm not sure, a month ago, kind of in response to all the favorites going on. So she's got 10 prompts here. We're going to, let's see, we're going to have to keep looking away. We're going to go through, I've got my tarot decks out, I've got my tea, it's dark out because it's morning. Dating the Tarot. All right, the first one is the Cheapskate Date. Who did you date? Because they were cheap as chips, and what was the outcome? Okay, so my Cheapskate Tarot is this Marseille deck. Super cheap. I think I got it for $5 on eBay or Amazon. And I bought it because I have a nicer CBD Marseille that I bought to learn and study with, and I'd been keeping it in order. So I bought this one to read with. And it's pretty much the same, except that the colors are lighter and pastelier. They don't seem faded. They seem intentional, but the coloring is much softer. And the other interesting thing is that, so here we have Justice, and in the Marseille deck, Justice is 8. I'm trying to cover my face so it focuses. Number 8. And of course, what is the Hermit? Well, in this particular Marseille deck, the Hermit is also 8. Should be 9, but it's misnumbered as 8. And I think, let's see, I think there's another one. What's the other one? The Moon. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the Moon is 18. And the Sun is, what do you know? 18. So 2 of the majors are misnumbered in here. And I kind of feel like it's part of the charm of this deck. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna renumber them. I'm just gonna keep it as it is. I remember I noticed the Hermit when I first got it, but I didn't notice the Moon until just recently when I was going through these. So that's my Cheapskate Date, and I do love it. The Slow Burner Date, the one you weren't sure about. On first meeting and over time, it's going to be love. And for me, that is the South Shore Burrito, this deck. And I bought this about a year ago, last February, March, something like that. And I've enjoyed working with it. I feel like it's, well, the art is, of course, very, very lovely. Oh, the black cat, love black cat. And so all the, whoops, where's that? So all the readings I've done with it have come out to be really lovely, really nice. But what I like about it, partly what I like about it, is that it still has quite a lot of symbolism in the cards, which I sometimes feel like these newer artier decks, it's more about the art, and the symbolism is pared down so much that it's almost gone. But there's still a lot of the symbolism here. You can see here in the King of Pentacles, he's got a lemniscate above his head, and the mountains are there, and so a lot of the symbolism is still there. Yeah, I really love this deck. It's gorgeous, and I really enjoy reading it. So that's my slow burner, the Sacerabito deck. The hard to pronounce deck. Okay. The third one is the blind date, because we're impulsive humans and sometimes we just rush in. Okay, so I started reading tarot many years ago before the internet was really a thing, before YouTube was really a thing. And So sometimes the only way to know what was in a deck was if you went to a store and they had a demo deck that you could kind of leaf through. So beyond the Rider-Waite, sometimes it was hard to know exactly what was in a deck. So that's how I bought this one, which is the Change the World deck. Shoot, I forgot the book. Anyway, I believe it's called Change of the World deck, something like that. And I bought it. I think I probably bought it, partly because I don't know why I bought it. I think I bought it because I wanted something similar to the Mother piece, but I wasn't crazy about round cards. I didn't want to deal with round cards. But I've never really done very much with this, except I did take a few cards and trim them to put in with my old Rider-Waite. Years ago I did this. And I think it's kind of a cool idea if you have different cards that speak to you and make your own deck out of your existing decks. But I did more than I thought. So I don't really know what to do with this deck. I would either have to finish trimming it, or if I was going to sell it or pass it on, I'd have to finish trimming it or something. But I haven't got rid of it because I kind of feel like I can and might work with it some more. It has a really good in-depth book that goes with it. So I think it all came in a set. Can't remember. I bought it so long ago. The Rebound Date, the one you keep going to break up with but keep coming back to. And for me, that is the Wild Unknown. And I bought this, I think, 2011 or 2012 when it was first available. I don't think it was mass produced then. I'm not really sure. But I read with it a lot for a few years, and then I kind of stopped. And I picked it up the other day, and I gave myself a little reading, and it was a good reading. It's a good reader, as they say. And my deck comes with this. This is the little white book. It's just a piece of paper, and each card has one or two lines kind of explaining its meaning or significance. And then in each corner here, there's a little blurb about each suit. So yeah, I pulled it out, and I feel like it's lost a lot of its love lately. Everyone's saying, oh, it's just another mass-produced deck. But back in my day, it was pretty unusual. It was fairly unusual when I bought it. And it's unusual for me because it's a nature deck. It's a nature animal deck, which I don't usually go for. I have another one. What's in this pile? But I still love the illustrations. I love how the economical use of color with these. And I really like this type of little white book because I've been doing tarot for a long time, and so this just tells me what the creator is doing. So I love it. You'll work with this one some more too, I think. I don't know. I just haven't really been into the nature animal decks. Well, I'm not anyway, but especially lately, I haven't really wanted to do that. But we'll definitely get back together again someday. The surprise love affair, the one you thought would be just okay at first meeting, but from first meeting it was love at first sight. Okay, for me that is the Dark Mansion. I always call it the Haunted Mansion, which, by the way, is an old vampire soap opera from the 70s. I remember watching it with my parents as a kid, just a couple of times. So I bought this. It's like the title card, I guess. I bought this almost because I didn't want to regret not buying it. And it was a little bit on the steep side for what I wanted to spend at the time, which was sometime early last year, when I bought a bunch of decks. And I kind of also felt like the art was a little bit cartoony, and I don't know. There was a lot I was unsure about. with this deck. But I really love it. I love using it. I love the humor in it. There's this kind of dark humor to it that is totally my style. I like the richness of the illustrations. I love how much care and thought went into the costumes, the clothing on the figures. I have my camera set up on one of my work screens and it keeps going on and off, which is why the lighting is so strange. But I have come to really love this deck, and I've done readings with it, and I've done some other kind of creative exercises with it. There's a real sense of place in this deck that adds to its charm. Yeah, I totally bought it out of fear of missing out, out of FOMO. And it's a dark deck, and I don't really have a lot of dark decks, but it's not gory because I don't really like gory unless it's Edward Gorey. The Not My Type date. The one you went on thinking it wasn't really your cup of tea, but what happened? Well, that for me, that is Tarot of the Master. And this is a style of deck pre-Rider-Waite-Smith, pre-1910. And it's an Italian deck. And I've had it a long time. I made this cute little green box for it with a little ribbon. You see the ribbon? There's the ribbon. And oops. These are the backs. As you can see, I trimmed it because it had keywords. The cards had keywords, and I trimmed the keywords off. So I didn't trim evenly for the back. That's no big deal to me. It's really, the illustrations are really kind of charming. I love that kind of ink and the pen and ink style of it. But it's a little bit sweet, which I don't usually go for. And a lot of the colors, let's see if I can find some. The colors are kind of pretty and not really pastel-y, but rose. There's a lot of rose colored in here, and kings clad in light blue, stocking feet, a lot of cherubs. So it wasn't really my type of deck, but I've really loved it. Bows and ribbons. I mean, it's almost the antithesis of the Dark Mansion deck. That's the Queen of Cups. One of the queens has she has what's called oh shoot, can't remember what it's called. Not a spinning wheel. It's not a spinning wheel. But it has something to do with the fiber arts, and I love it when the fiber arts show up in my tarot cards. It's probably at the very, oh, here it is. The little thing in the back, a swift. It's called a swift. And it's used to wind finished yarn on. And they still make them. I have a couple, but they don't look quite like that. Anyway, I use this a lot if we're doing a romance reading or a love reading or something to do with children. Something that needs a gentler touch than, well, the Dark Mansion or the Wild Unknown or even the Rider-Waite. That is not my type. All right, next one. I may have to delete your number. I spoke about this deck in one of my other videos, my Tarot Not So White video, #video, which I looked at the other day, and it's a little embarrassing. It's a little cringy. I'm going to keep it up, though, for, I guess, historicity. So this is the Medieval Scapini Tarot by Luigi Scapini. I think it's a Visconti deck, which I think is a type of tarot deck, and I'm not entirely sure what that means. But there are two reasons why I don't really like this deck. One is that I just find it hard to focus on. The images are blurry. They're really hard to see. There's a lot going on for such a small, it's a very small image with a lot happening. But the worst part, the reason why I may have to delete his numbers, because it does show some people of color and, African people, Asian people, and images of people who are Jew-coded. This one shows everyone. And they're awful. They're just awful. The very colonial, very stereotypical. Are you going to focus? I don't want to show too much. So I don't really know what to do with this deck because I don't want it. I'm not going to read with it. I've used it in the past and liked it fine, but now it just kind of disgusts me. And so do I sell it? Do I pass it on? I don't know. I don't know if I really want it out there. I could throw it in the trash. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe someday it'll be worth $1 million. If some decks go for, oh, no, not $1 million, but thousands. The forever love, true love. Well, good old Rider-Waite-Smith. Nowadays, I work with, or the Rider-Waite-Smith deck that I use is the Centennial one. I love it a lot. But for years and years, I had the Universal Weight, and I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it because I loved it for so long, and I may use it again. You can kind of see, you know, it's bent from so much shuffling. You know, the edges are worn. The thing that I like about this deck is that, or the thing that makes it what it is that it's been recolored in a kind of a soft way, and it looks like colored pencils to me. It's like it's been colored with colored pencils. It's not faded. I remember showing it years ago to a friend. She said, "Oh, you've used it for a long time," because she thought it was a regular Rider-Waite-Smith that had been faded, but it's not. It's just recolored. I'll never cut the borders off or anything. I just love. It's my. Yeah, I've had it for so long. I've used it for so much. It's carried me through so much. I definitely will use it again. I mean, I've used this one. I had the Radiant Weight for a while that I used. I've had the regular one with the real bright, almost garish colors that I used. And I got rid of those when I stopped really using them a lot, but I don't think I'll get rid of my Universal. Too many memories. The Stormy On Off Date. The one you can't stay away from. Equal parts passion, equal parts fighting. I don't really have those kinds of relationships. I just don't. But for this, I chose my Ninth Dimension Tarot, because it's kind of a weird deck. I did a video on it to show everybody. It's an antique deck. It's from the late 60s or early 70s. These are the backs. And as you can see, they're not really suitable for reverse reading, which is fine with me. But the book instructs you. The book has a few spreads and layouts, games they call it, and they instruct you to reverse a certain number, 5 or 7 or 9 cards, and then you shuffle, and then you do your layout. And I think that's a great idea. I would love to. I don't know why I would say I would love to. I guess I can do whatever I want, but I think that's a great idea to kind of use reversals without ending up with a whole spread that's completely upside down. I'm on a couple of tarot forums, and when that happens to new folks, they're like, "What? Why are all these? What does it mean when everything's reversed?" And I feel like what it means is you're holding your deck upside down. But I love the kind of crudeness of the images of the drawing. I love the cups. I just love the coffee mugs. The Magician with his lemniscate. There are a lot of lemniscates in this deck. So that's my Stormy On Off one. A friend of mine gave this to me about a year ago. It had been her grandmother's. That's a story. Okay, last one. The Friends with Benefits Date. I chose my Spacious Tarot. It's another animal nature deck. And I've never used, I didn't even buy it to use for readings. I bought it to use for meditation. And, oh, that one's great. And I think it's a great deck for meditation, because it has a lot of images, kind of like this one, the Chariot, which just leads you to wherever your mind will take you. Or it has images like this, the Ace of Pentacles, that just kind of lets you concentrate on something, one thing. The World. There you go. Yeah, if the monitor stays on, it's kind of a decent light for the cards. The Fool is a great one for meditation. Totally leads you right off that cliff. What's going to happen? You can ask yourself, how did we get here? And then the Court cards are all animals. Such so beautiful. That mountain is so beautiful. Trees. So I call this my Friends with Benefits one, because I use it for meditation and contemplation, not for actual readings. I could try, but I don't know. I just didn't buy it. That's not what I bought it for. She has a nice little white book. It's fairly, thick. All right, so those are my Dating the Tarot. And this was fun. This is such a fun hashtag. Hashtag Dating the Tarot by Candy, started by Candy Soul and Soil. And she's adorable, by the way, if you haven't checked out her video channel. She's so sweet. So I hope that was fun. That was a lot of fun to do, and I'm having a lot of fun watching these videos. Go and watch the videos with the hashtag, because they really are a lot of fun. And after that, have a great new year, and I will talk to everybody later. Bye.